everyone, and welcome to WCW Live on WCW.com. It's Jeremy Borash along with Bob Ryder. So glad you've joined us tonight. It's a Thursday night, abbreviated version of the program tonight. We will not be taking phone calls, but what we will be doing, Bob, is talking about last night's interview, which obviously made the rounds today all over the news boards, the news sites of the World Wide Web about Vince Russo's interview last night on this very program. What an eventful show it was. Yeah, anytime he comes on the show, it makes news, and certainly this was no exception. It's all over the internet. We'll have him again, and I'm sure that he'll make news again next time. Yeah, certainly a lot of things that come out of that interview. A lot of people talking about Vince being very open, very honest about the way he feels about things. That's his approach. That's the approach he's always had. Whether that's the right approach or not, I don't know. That's up for debate, I guess, from some people. But that's the way he is, and that's the way he has always operated. Yeah, and that's one of the things that a lot of people like about him, and anybody in his position that is as controversial as he's always been. Some people are going to like what he says, some people aren't going to like it, but at least people do talk about it, and I guess that's the most important thing. Absolutely, and certainly the simple fact that he promised on this show to come out Monday and offer Goldberg his release live on the air is certainly an interesting twist of things, an interesting twist that we're going to be seeing coming up Monday with WCW Monday Nitro. Yeah, and Mark Madden is apparently calling and wanting us to try to call him. So if you get a chance, maybe we can make it a foursome. Well, tell Mark. You know what? I'll give you a number that Mark can call in on. How does that sound? Okay. In the meantime, while we do that, let's welcome our guest to the program. He is speaking of controversy, I think he is, I don't know, have you toned down your shtick, or are you just not controversial anymore? No, I'll always be controversial, but I'm not going to be controversial for controversy's sake. So you're smart about it, is what you're saying. No, I'm just controversial when I need. Well, if controversy is being opinionated or speaking what you feel, then that's what I am. But, I just feel that, like Vince Russo and a lot of people in this business, I'd rather you hate me for what I am than love me for what I'm not. And I'm going to tell you how I feel about stuff. And I just can't stand people who like to be lied to or they want to be told what they want to hear. I hate that, and I'm not going to do it, Of course, we're talking about Konnan, who joins us tonight, 1-877 WCW Live. I actually will not be taking phone calls for this, but we do appreciate you being on the show. Konnan, and certainly talking about your state's, your mind when it comes to the business. You have a great mind for this sport, and people on the internet and familiar with what you've done on this show are well aware of that. Give us your take on the last couple of weeks. Give us your take on the pay-per-view, and give us your take on the Filthy Animals. Let's start with the last month or so in WCW. What do you like and what do you not like? Well, what I don't like is the instability. I mean, and I think that Jeff Jarrett alluded to that in his Thunder interview, and it's almost like the Soviet Union. They've had like eight presidents in the last 6 years. And I mean, when you have that type of instability, that breeds insecurity and paranoia, and you don't know who's going to be next. When you get used to some guy's scheme of doing things, then another guy comes in and does a complete 360, and then he brings in his people and his administration, and it's not good. It's not good, and they need to stick behind somebody and let them sink or swim. You cannot be changing every 3 months or every time the ratings dip, because it didn't take us 1 year to get here, and it ain't going to take us a year to get out. You know what I'm saying? So they need to stick behind Vince and let him sink or swim. I personally feel, and I really hardly have no contact with him at all, but the little that I do, that I kind of feel he feels he's under the gun. And I may be wrong, and that's why sometimes I think he has the hotshot stuff, and that's no way to have anybody working. That's what I feel. Now, I also feel that we have the ingredients right now, and I would like to include, not because you guys are on the show, but people like Bob Ryder, like yourself, like Chad Damiani, like Mark Madden. You guys have been a breath of fresh air. You got a lot of guys with new ideas, a lot of guys that know the direction that we got to go in. You got guys like Disco, Vince Russo, Ed Ferrara. I mean, you have all the ingredients behind the scenes to make this work. We need rid of all our dead weight, which we're doing slowly but surely. And you need to let the young guys go. If you watch TV, they're energetic. Of course, they're going to make a lot of mistakes, but at least they're trying. At least they're giving you a match. They're not going out there and going through the moves and giving you your, here's a boot to the face, here's a clothesline, and let's pose. I mean, you're getting guys going out there and doing, exciting stuff. And, of course, they're green, but at least they're trying and they're giving you your money's worth and you don't feel cheated. I'd rather see some guys
that don't have a big name and are going to put on a hell of a match than two guys that have been around forever who do nothing and rest on their laurels.
Let's welcome Mark Madden to the program. Hello, Mark.
Carlos, I just want to say what we need is more guys like you and me, because we've got it like that.
Oh, we've definitely got it like that.
And what we also need is for me to not be in any more matches that last longer than 30 or 45 seconds at the longest.
Or for you not to be in any more matches, period.
Well, Bob, I don't know if that's your place to say.
Right, Bob.
I would like to be in a match. I would like to do. I haven't seen Bob now. I would like to see they call it Super Atómicos in Mexico, which is 4-on-4. I'd like to see Jeremy, Bob Ryder, myself, and Mark Madden against Major Guns, Tori, Pam, and Cat Secretary in a whipped cream gelatin match.
A whipped cream?
Now you're talking hot-shotting.
Yeah.
That's hot-shotting an angle, though, as Bob has pointed out.
Well, we could
do hot-shotting,
you know.
Right. Whipped cream, you say?
Whipped cream and gelatin.
Oh, together?
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, that's a lethal combination.
That's messy but nice.
Wow. Mark, first let's go to you. Your comments after watching your amazing performance in the ring last night with Mean Gene Okerlund.
Well, amazing is maybe the word I'd use. Like I said, it was all right. I guess it was entertaining. I just think if we all had it to do over again, it would have been shorter. I just think maybe we had a little too much time in there. But I'll tell you what, one thing I think I proved, and not to pat myself on the back, but I thought the two promos I did can hang with pretty much anybody's promos in the company.
Carlos, your thoughts?
Well, that's always been his strong point, his promos. I mean, if you would have done a bad promo in a good match, I would have been amazed. So, I mean, your strong point, what you're best suited is for promos. That's what you're known for. You're not a wrestler. Just like the Nitro girls who go in there and everybody goes, they sucked. Of course they sucked. They don't know how to wrestle. I mean, if I feel I'm a pretty good dancer, but if you put me up to the Nitro girls, I look like a fool. I mean, you got to cater to your strengths. And I think as a novelty, you know, anything like between two girls or Gene and Mark is good for a 1-2 time thing as long as they don't stretch it out. But, you know, that's not definitely something I'd pay to see.
Wow. So,
well, Mark, the only thing I was disappointed in...
I wouldn't pay to see me wrestle either.
Right. But see, Mark's honest about it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he knows that he didn't do a great job, but he's not a wrestler. He's not trained to do that. And once you get in there, you find out how much harder it is. That's why when you've seen guys like Reggie White or Dennis Rodman or Vince Russo or Eric Bischoff, they come out of that ring with a greater appreciation of how hard our art really is.
Well, that's
no doubt about it, but I still maintain that I could have a 2-star match with Ric Flair.
Oh, definitely. Well,
because Russo had a 3-star match with Ric Flair.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
Bob, now, no chance that you're going to be in the ring anytime soon.
Not that I'm planning on that. The only thing I was disappointed in Mark's match...
Yeah, I didn't plan on it either, Bob.
Well, the thing that really upset me was they edited out the shooting star press. That had to be the high point of the match for you.
You've been working on that.
Well, you know what I was most disappointed with? When Pamela Paulshock hit me with the crotch shot, she actually missed my groin. But I helped her find it later.
Mark, what was the reaction in Pittsburgh of your performance?
I don't really talk about that stuff much on the air on the radio. On my radio show, which, by the way, fans, my radio show will be live.
Wait a minute. Canyon.
What was that?
Konnan, what did you say?
I heard that they actually had a secret ticker tape parade waiting for you in Pittsburgh.
Is that true?
Well, it got canceled because I lost to Gene. And then there were, like, 2 little kids throwing confetti today.
So it wasn't nearly as good.
No, but my great radio show, which airs every day on ESPN Radio 1250, will be live at the Nitro Grill in Las Vegas next Thursday and Friday. And might I add that now you can listen to my radio show every day on the Internet at ESPNRadio1250.com.
Is that right?
Yeah, I figured I'd jam that plug in as quick as I could. But I don't know. I mean, I still think, I'll be honest, I don't necessarily feel I have to wrestle to get my character over, but I still think after watching what I did the last 2 weeks, if I got in there in joke matches or with tag team matches where I was in the ring for no more than 15 seconds and having people beat the hell out of me,
right,
and I cut promos around the match, I don't, let's put it this way, it wouldn't be the worst thing on the show.
Well, I think Mark actually told me this after the Thunder tapings, after I gave him my critique of the match. He said, I think that I could be a manager for some of the young guys that can't talk, and I think he'd be a great manager, but I don't think we have managers anymore. But I don't think that would be such a bad idea to bring back.
I could wear a red jacket, a yellow shirt, a blue tie, carry a tennis racket.
Would you be against that, Bob? About
No, I think
can't talk. Maybe having a manager.
I think it could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not even worth talking about because Russo's very anti-manager, as we know.
One more time, Konnan. What'd you say?
If we had a charismatic enough guy who really knew how to get heat, I think he could be a manager for a kid that's breaking in and can't talk. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Because clearly, right now, what is hurting the 20 to 30 power plant guys we're using on TV right now is that they really can't talk.
Yeah.
And to get heat in today's pro wrestling, you have to talk. I don't think anybody here would disagree with that. So, I mean, I don't want to manage. I want to announce. That's what I want my job to be. Anything else I do in the future, and I think there will be something, but anything else I do in the future, I will do gladly, and I will do to the best of my ability. But my main forte is no doubt talking. But I think we made a mistake, at the time, letting a guy like Jimmy Vandenberg go, who's got a sinister minister in ECW. There's a guy who could really talk. And to get over in today's pro wrestling, you need to talk, or have somebody talk for you successfully. I think, for example, Carlos gets the filthy animals over by talking for all of them. I mean, Ray and Hoovy are not accomplished interviewers, and Disco's a jackass.
The backup phrase.
So I think talking can get guys over, even if the guy you're trying to get over isn't necessarily the one doing the talking.
Right.
By the way, I have hot news.
Oh, what's your hot news?
And Carlos, I bet, knows more about this than I do, and I know he'll spill because he always does. Disco Inferno was herded into a small, dark room by U.S. Customs officials at the Atlanta airport yesterday.
No.
I wasn't on him on the charter.
Okay, have you talked to him today, though?
I did. He didn't mention anything about it.
But it looked to me like a major bust.
Really?
Yes.
Well, he did lose his cell phone, he said.
Right, he was probably trying to smuggle like some nuclear device into the country inside the cell phone.
Now, is this a shoe?
Was he detained by customs officials? Yes. I think it was just one of those random things, but I'm pretty sure they strip searched him.
No kidding.
Yep.
I know that they had a cavity search and an anal probe.
Right.
And he liked it. But that was a whole different thing.
He requested that before he left Canada, I'm sure.
They did a thorough enough check.
I didn't know you could request that, Bob. I got to believe that. Come on, Martin. Mark, you know better than that.
Why? No, I wasn't referring to him employing the actual physical act. I just can't believe that somebody quit a major wrestling company.
Right, Mark.
2 days in.
Mark.
What?
We can't talk about it.
We can't talk about Rizzo quitting?
Hello?
All right. Yeah, I had to put Mark on it. Mark?
When you get too controversial figures on there, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you really don't, do you?
Thank God Larry from New York isn't here.
No, he's gone.
Oh, wait, you've heard about Larry from New York?
Yes, I have.
Can I mention something since
Wait, I have a question. I won't mention it again.
Please don't.
But why can't we talk about it?
Then don't. How about this? Let's move on to something.
What about all the roster cuts? Is that off limits?
Yeah.
I have something we can talk about.
Okay, well, steer me in the right direction. You can't. Carlos will confirm her. You can't just bring me on cold and expect me not to head right to controversy, right, Carlos?
Mark gets on the show and he drives aimlessly towards like all the really controversial subjects, and they're trying to steer you in the other way, and he still doesn't get it.
He gets in the hot news car and drives right into the storm.
Well, what you do is you get me off the air and tell me what's up.
But the funny thing is, everything you said, Mark, I was going to touch upon. So now you took away all my heat.
Wow.
I was going to talk about that Canadian incident. Can we say that?
The Canadian incident?
Yes.
Well, we don't know about it, so...
Okay.
Oh, actually, we do.
I have a bit of hot news.
Okay.
Oh, I bet it pales in comparison to everything you kept us from talking about.
Well, in regards to the Disco Inferno,
yes.
Can I tell you something that happened today in the booking meeting?
Yes.
Well, Jeremy, this is where you've disappointed us, and I bet Carlos too, is that you're in the booking meetings, and we expect you to come on this show and spill your guts totally. Oh, how about Rick Steiner idea get over?
Booking meeting.
They throw him out of the booking committee, so he's got to keep it on the down low.
I got to keep it on the up and up.
Right. Hey, without revealing what it is, how'd my Rick Steiner idea get over?
Very well, actually.
Did it?
What was it in regards to? I'm trying to think.
University of Michigan.
Use it.
No, I don't know. I don't even think it was brought up.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, what happened at the booking meeting?
Here's what happened.
This sounds like
hold it. That was a hell of an idea.
I don't know anything about it, Mark. I can't talk about it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's no point doing this show anymore. We can't talk about the fun stuff.
I got something I'm trying to tell you. Today in the Disco Inferno is a complete is 3 times worse as he is on this program in those meetings.
Wow.
You know why? Because Carlos will confirm this. He's one of them now.
Right.
Am I right, Konnan?
He ain't got it like that.
Right. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Disco pitched an idea that was so preposterous, so completely out of line and so out of whack that Vince Russo is going to use it starting Monday and is going to make the Disco Inferno do it.
Please. Are you serious?
Yes.
It's to do about Martians and Earthlings.
It has nothing to do with either.
Okay.
But Disco shoots off about 30 just of the worst ideas you've ever heard in your life. And finally, I think Vince broke down today and is going to, as a punishment, make Disco do this.
That's true, because I can hear him say, okay, Glenn, you know what? You have all these great ideas. Okay, this one, you're going to do it. Start Monday. It's a great idea, right? You got no problem. You're going to do it.
Jeremy, I got a question.
Yes.
Does the idea that Disco pitched in any way involve the Filthy Animals looking like complete idiots?
By association, yes.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
He's too much.
You know what the worst part is people like Carlos and Ray and Hoovy and the close associates of Filthy Animals like myself, we strive to make things better, don't we, Carlos?
Yes, we do. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, because I know I'll forget, and you'll hang up on me, Jeremy, and Bob, and I don't even know Bob's number, wherever you're at Baton Rouge or Atlanta, wherever you may be. But here's the thing. What in the hell did Vince Russo say yesterday for those of us that have televisions and discs and DVD players and don't really listen to the Internet every day, especially since I don't even think his visit was announced?
What did Vince Russo say?
Yeah, when I was on hold or before you brought me on, when I was on the Internet green room, you go, yeah, Vince Russo said all this controversial stuff as only he can. What did he say?
I'm sorry, we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
1-877.
Wait, you know what happened? I figured out what happened.
What?
Between last night and today, the whip came down about stuff we can and can't talk about.
Is that what happened?
I figure.
No, we can talk about it.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, no. Vince talked about the remainder of his contract and plans that he has after.
Did he talk about the Canada incident?
No.
No.
Wow.
Did he talk about roster cuts?
No.
Did he
Not
talk
specific.
about
Jeremy, by the way, the correct response when you can't talk about something
Yeah.
is it's none of your business.
Bob,
Yes.
can you divulge any of the more titillating tidbits that Vince Russo spit out last night? Since
It's
I
none
wasn't
of your
there to
business.
listen to it?
What was that?
See, there you go. Bob, you're catching on.
Huh?
None of your business, Konnan.
By the way, Konnan and I
one of the
conducted a poll
controversial
backstage.
Hang on.
One of the controversial things he said was that this Monday on Nitro, he's going to offer Bill Goldberg his release.
Wow. He should do that to about 2 or 3 other guys.
I remember when we did that to Brian Pillman as a rib, and he ended up on New York TV like 3 weeks later.
You were going to talk about a poll.
Right, Konnan and I conducted a poll. And by the way, anybody who pledged money to the Brian Pillman thing that didn't contribute, it signed a check. Bob, remember when I wrote that column for OneWrestling.com?
Right.
About the Pillman Memorial, how like a lot of guys should just contribate money as opposed to, putting on a show and getting themselves over?
Right.
I mailed my check in. I just got a thank you note today from the lovely Melanie, Brian's widow, and a picture of Brian, Owen Hart, and Brian's son, Brian Jr.
What's the website that was up for the show? Do you know?
Pillman 2000, wasn't it?
Right.
Pillman
So
2000.
people out there should pay, especially those of us who knew Brian. But Konnan and I conducted a poll backstage, and we arrived at the 3 favorite girls in WCW. Konnan, would you care to name them?
All right, wait a minute. Let's first go around the horn and see how our own opinions vary from the poll results.
Okay.
Konnan, we start with you.
No, you can't, because Konnan was part of the poll.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mark?
I was part of the poll as well.
So it's going to be a short trip around the horn.
Right. Bob, let's go to you.
My favorite girl in WCW.
Top 3. Start with 3, 2, 1.
Top 3, Miss Hancock, number 1.
Does this count Nitro Girls, too?
Yes.
Okay.
And Hoobie.
And Hoobie.
Yeah.
You gave away the punchline.
Spice, I think, number 2.
See, forget it. Now, just Konnan, for some inexplicable reason, gave away the punchline. Our poll was not so much a poll as a way of saying Pamela, Baby, and Hoovy.
Wow.
We really didn't take a poll.
Okay,
We do like Hoovy, though.
3 favorites anyways, Mark.
Right.
I think it's worth a poll worth doing anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, no, we're not lying about one thing. We do like Hoovy, right, Carlos?
Right, but say who are your 3 favorites so Bob and Jeremy and I can say. And maybe they'll be listening, and if they like us, they now know we like them.
Go ahead, Bob.
Miss Hancock.
Yes.
Spice.
Spice.
Wow.
And Daphne.
Oh, very
Who?
good. Daphne.
Wow. I should have put Hancock on my list, too. I should have eschewed the punchline.
Hancock. Who are you, Mark? Hancock, who else?
For me?
Yeah.
Legitimately, Hancock, Pam, and Baby.
Hancock, Pam, and Baby. In that order.
No, I don't know about that order. Yeah, probably, but I'm not sure. See, like, Baby gives you that 12-year-old look, which I really like.
Oh, come on, Mark.
Where she's...
That's horrible.
Hold it. You didn't prove that, I hope.
No.
Okay, the bottom line is this, Jeremy. They dress her up in pigtails, put her in a little girl's sundress, and have her lick a lollipop. Okay? What are they trying to imply when they send her out there like that? That she's Barbara Streisand?
Impersonation.
B. Arthur, I think is what they're going for there.
Oh, I dug her, too.
Jeremy, who are your 3?
I would have to go with Miss Pamela Polishak.
Yes.
I would have to go with Star of the Nitro Girls. She is the lovely long-haired dark gal, dark-haired gal.
Oh, the tall one that kind of looks like Cat Secretary?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's not Cat Secretary.
Right.
The long-haired dark-haired gal.
Who's the third one?
And I would have to say the third one would be Miss Hancock.
Okay.
Carlos, go ahead.
I would say Miss Hancock. I don't know. There's like a 2-way tie for number 2, but I'll just pick one. I don't know. I like Tori when she isn't in her blemish stage. Did I say that? And
What did he say?
when she isn't in her blemish stage.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Okay.
Like, I'm putting Tori on my list just to make her feel better. I totally forgot about Tori for some reason. Tori's definitely my top 3.
And I know Hoovie's going to get hot at this because in private I tell him he's number 1. U-turn. Number 1 is Pam.
Yes, her ranking has climbed dramatically.
Who's that?
Pam's.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, she walks around backstage wearing almost nothing.
3 girls that we didn't concur with was Daphne for Bob, the Baby Spice for Madden, Star for you, and Tori for me. The other ones we all kind of were in agreement with. Right?
Yeah, but I'm putting Tori on my list. I'm going to a top 4. I totally blanked on Tori. She's probably my top 2, actually.
Can I give an honorable mention to Symphony?
Who's Symphony?
Well, yeah, I think you could, except we're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, the girl that used to come out with Maestro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see her contort her tongue?
No.
Carl, she can, like, bend her tongue in, like, the shape of a Q.
Wow.
All right.
Then she makes my honorable mention just on that alone.
All right.
How about, Bob, if you were stuck in a prison cell in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, okay?
Which he is.
Okay.
You were condemned there for 2 months. Who would you rather spend 2 months with, Kwee-wee or Hoovie?
It's none of your business.
Wow. That's none of your business. Wow.
What a question.
I'd have to take Kwee-wee because I'd always be dressed well.
All right. I was hoping you'd say Kwee-wee because maybe when you get out, you guys could, do a sandwich with papaya or whatever his wife's name is.
Oh, please. No. All right.
No, make a sandwich, because he's hungry when he gets out of prison.
Turkey pastrami, preferably.
Right.
All right.
So what's on Nitro Monday?
All right. Here's what we know about Nitro on Monday. We know that there is going to be this big release offered by Vince Russo, and we know that is actually going to start off the show.
Right.
Okay.
So from there, anything can happen, and it's none of your damn business.
So
am I involved in any way other than an announcer?
I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to use the internet yet, not that well anyways, and my brother's been scrolling on it, okay? And he's always bringing up all these, there must be a million. I could not believe how many websites there are for wrestling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there's this one guy, I don't know his name, probably Bob Ryder knows him because I actually saw an article on Bob Ryder there talking about, I guess, something you have with Dave Meltzer about internet fans or something, Bob?
Right.
I could not believe that Dave Meltzer and the Brian Alvarez guy actually said, and I'm not saying this because I'm in the company, that they thought that the beginning of Nitro sucked. I thought that was awesome.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, there are a lot of guys out there right now, and even guys who really know what they talk about. But right now, anything we do, they're going to say
I thought that was so cool the way it started with people throwing stuff at them, chanting, all these, I thought it was great. It made for real good TV.
It was great TV, and no one, no one of these so-called journalists or reporters ever put the words "good TV" together in conjunction with this.
You know what happens? I'm going to tell you what happens. And Bob, Jeremy, Mark, tell me if you agree with what I'm about to say. And I had this conversation with DDP once. Here's the thing. Like my brother, now that he hangs around wrestlers, he knows Hoovy, he knows Ray, he starts seeing all these little terminologies like taking bumps, when the guy gets slammed or he falls, I'm shooting with you, which means the guy's going to talk off the record what he really means. All these little insider terms which make us feel like this little fraternity because we only know what it means, and the fans don't even know what the hell it means. And they start overanalyzing matches. So, here they are saying, I'm reading this thing and they're saying, well, they're making it look like a shoot when it should be a work, and then my brother's telling me, well, the thing is that it looks like a work, and this guy don't want to take bumps. I'm thinking to myself, bro, when you used to watch wrestling before, and you didn't even, know wrestlers and all the terminologies, you didn't watch a match and go, wow, he took a dumb bump, or he isn't selling, or he's got a lot of heat. You used to just say, this match is good, or it isn't. And
right, you allowed yourself to be entertained. You allowed yourself to just have fun.
Huh?
You allowed yourself to have fun. Nobody does that anymore.
Right, that sucks. I hate that. I think all these smart fans who go to all the matches and mess it up for all the other normal fans, hey, I read the Observer. Did you know that Goldberg's going to win and this is a work and Konnan's about to get released? Bro, if you know something, keep it to yourself. Don't spoil it for everybody else. Watch the damn match. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because it's none of your business.
Right. Do you agree with that, Bob?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent we all, the internet fans tend to try to overanalyze things, and I guess it's fun in one respect to know what's going to happen and to feel like you're smarter than the.
I disagree. I think it's never fun to know what's going to happen if you're watching as a fan.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be. I mean, we used to be able to see something and our jaw would drop, but now everybody knows everything before it happens, and it takes a little bit of the mystique out of it.
I remember when Luger showed up at Nitro, the first Nitro. I was never so surprised, and it got a big pop from me. And at that point, I was kind of jaded to the business as a sheet writer. But it was great to see it that one time where I didn't know, and that was a lot of fun.
Right. You know what? This is a damn wrestling match, and this ain't a wine tasting contest where you're checking for consistency and dexterity and all this other BS. It was a match good or wasn't it good, and that's what we should go by.
Right. It's like Hitler said.
Excuse me?
It's like Hitler said. I think it was Hitler. Maybe it was Churchill. I don't know. Somebody said, the world will little note nor long remember what happened here. It's wrestling. If it entertained people, it was good. If it didn't, it wasn't.
Did Hitler say that?
I don't know. Who said that, Bob?
I'm not sure. I think you just did.
That was actually B. Arthur.
I believe that.
She was always a great orator. She was always, I thought she was, she never got her credit.
Very, very underranked.
Very sexy, tall,
articulate orator, B. Arthur.
She was good like that.
I would put her up there with JFK and Martin Luther.
Not Martin Luther King, just Martin Luther.
Just Martin.
Right, the Catholic.
Right.
Yeah, the German guy.
All right, let's talk.
You know what? I love it when Carlos and I are doing stuff together, like whether it's this or radio or even TV, because we slip in so much obscure BS. It's incredible.
Right, we're worse than Dennis Miller.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people do you think Jeremy and Bob have hung up on this internet chat?
What do you mean?
Of us talking. I mean, we're talking like we're on the phone and nobody's listening to us. How many people do you actually think have logged off or whatever it's called?
I think people like it.
Oh, do they?
I don't know. Bob, take an informal poll in the chat room.
I don't think anybody's listening anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
No, let's put it this way, though. back in the old days, this is even pre-Bob and Jeremy, when we used to do the show once a month, like Konnan and me and Kevin and Scott and Six would take over the show and basically talk amongst ourselves for 2 hours. Am I right, Carlos?
Yeah. Bob.
And then everybody, that was the biggest audiences ever. I don't know, maybe people, don't underestimate the propensity of the American public to think they're in on the joke even when they're not.
Right.
Konnan, you were going to say something.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a quick 30-second story about what happened once. One time, Mark Madden had Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and myself on a show on spring break on the same type of show, right?
Oh, I'm very familiar with that night.
We know the story.
Oh, you know the story?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Was that a great one?
A day that will live in infamy.
Well, let me tell the people real quick. All three of us went off like we never have before, and Eric Bischoff was standing outside the trailer. We were like in a little trailer home or something. He was standing outside the window listening to everything. It was hilarious. And from then on,
he was sneaky like that.
Mark Madden called us the gold, silver, and bronze medalist of controversy on the Internet.
And the best part was Tom Hunt, who was in charge of the Internet then, left in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
He wanted no part of any responsibility. So I think Gene Okerlund faked a seizure, and Tom took him back to the hotel.
Bob.
Yep.
Do you have the Internet thing in front of you?
Yep.
Can you tell me some of the comments that the people are saying?
What are they saying about us in the chat room?
They're wondering why you're quoting Hitler.
I don't know if it was Hitler. It was a good quote.
Okay. Well, it was B. Arthur, from what I understand.
It was B. Arthur, or the great Fatty Arbuckle may have said that, too, at one point.
I ever tell you when he did one for the Coke bottle?
No. Hey, come on, please. Go ahead, Bob.
They seem to be talking a lot about the Hitler comments. Right. Question is, do you think taping the Thunder after Nitro is going to be a good idea for the company in the long run?
That's a good roundtable discussion. Let's go ahead. Konnan,
the only way it will work, having been in those 3-hour marathon Nitros, which just killed everybody, including the crowd, is the Thunder. They're going to have to do a lot of pre-tapes and very few matches, because if not, the people are just going to die. You know, they just don't have enough energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and a lot of people will leave once Nitro's over,
exactly,
because that is perceived as the A show.
Exactly. That happened last time. Once Nitro's over, they go, okay, the big show's over. We don't even want to sit here for this. And
which is an interesting statement, because the big show has never been over. But,
wow.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
That was Jeremy Borash, kids. He'll be here all week.
Thank you. That's an interesting point. Another thing to consider is, we really are there very early on Mondays, and everybody works really hard to put on that 2-hour show. What's going to happen if we add an extra 2 hours to it? Maybe if we do an hour before and an hour after. You talk about the pre-tapes, you talk about the different things you're going to have to do to not only tackle one show, but two.
But in defense of why they're doing it, it will save an untold amount of money.
Definitely. It's the right move at the right time, but now it's like communism. It's good in theory, but in practice it sucks. They got to make sure that they make it, entertaining enough where the people aren't getting up and leaving. And I think they need to do a lot of pre-tapes, maybe videos, maybe some of those behind-the-scene interviews. They don't have to be shoot per se, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And fill up Thunder a little bit more with less matches and a little bit more of the fluff, I guess.
Who said that communism stuff? Groucho Marx, I think?
Which one?
There's something about communism working in theory, but lousy in practice. Groucho Marx?
No, I believe John F. Kennedy said that. Or B. Arthur.
I think it was television.
It is B. Arthur, definitely.
Or television's Todd Bridges from Different Strokes.
Wow.
The chat room is enjoying this show. They said it's one of the best ever.
The chat room can go to hell.
Very good. Thank you.
What was the statement? I didn't hear it.
The chat room is saying this is one of the best shows we've ever done.
But, Carlos, I just turn on the chat room all the time.
Right. That's great. I love that. That's the best. You know who I thought was real good at that? Jericho. They would have signs that say, "We love you, Jericho," and Jericho as a heel would grab him, and you'd think he'd put him over his head. He'd just rip him up. Great heel stuff.
Konnan, do you like working as a heel or a face better?
Definitely as a heel. I'm a heel. I've always been a heel. I've been a heel back since the day. Remember that guy? What was his name? Dan Shockett or whatever?
Right, the guy who wrote the heel column for the Afterbacks.
Yeah. I used to love how he would go off on all the baby. I hate, the only faces I like the cool, kick-ass baby faces like Steve Austin or back in the day, Dusty Rhodes, those type of guys. But I hate the guys that, I'm for the people, and, because of you guys, screw all that, I like Austin's persona, that type of thing. I've always been a heel. I love heels. I'll always like Ric Flair. I always just liked the heels. Even as a kid, I just thought they were cooler. I always liked the way they'd say they were doing things and then deny it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Another thing, too, heels in wrestling are actually more honest toward the way they treat and feel about the people than the baby faces, because I'll be very honest, I don't know a wrestler who really likes associating with the fans, who really can't wait to do it, who looks forward to it.
No, the only wrestlers, I'll tell you, the only wrestlers that look forward to having any type of...
Rats don't count, by the way.
No. And this is true. This is the truth. Guys that are just breaking into the business, they'll sign everybody's autographs, go to the coffee table and talk to them. But after a few years, you just get tired of it. I would say the only wrestler that still takes the time to talk to fans is Disco.
You think?
Yeah, because he's trying to get ideas from them.
And he's a mark.
Yeah, both.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe that's...
You know what Jake the Snake once told me, Jeremy and Bob and Mark?
What?
This is very funny. He goes, in real life, he goes, the baby faces are heels and the heels are baby faces with the fans.
You know what Jake the Snake once told me?
What?
Wow, am I wrecked?
He's actually wrestling in Mexico again now.
I know. What's up with that?
I don't know. He must have conned somebody that his name still means something. You know, he's the best charmer I've ever met. So he's over there, and let's see how long it'll take for him to self-destruct.
You know what, though? I give him credit. A guy like him should try to work his way to Central America to cut down on shipping costs.
All right, very good, very good. Come on. By the way, let's throw a quick plug out for this. Beyond the Mat comes out in DVD in like 5 days.
Right, let's not let me talk about Jake Roberts' real life. Let's talk about Beyond the Mat, where he's not exactly depicted in a flattering light.
It was a mere coincidence.
It was a segue.
Yes.
Okay, I like a good segue.
Give me another question from the chat room, Bob.
All right.
I'll be looking for one.
The DVD apparently contains footage that was not in the movie, and apparently contains footage that does not cast Vince McMahon in the greatest light, including, from what I hear, something with Al Snow that may come back to get him in a little trouble.
Well, what is it?
Apparently he has some words for Vinnie Mac that are not
While he was working for him?
Well, yeah.
Can I reveal hot news, seriously? Serious hot news?
Go ahead.
Al Snow wants out up there. Very unhappy. A number of people have told me that.
Really?
Yes. Not so much about his push, but just the way he's treated personally.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard that from a number of people up there.
Well, I heard the head's the one that's been getting him in a lot of trouble. That guy's got a big mouth.
Well, you know what that might be? That might be a case of a guy who would be better off, or who's been in a promotion so long that, you know, he might be better off, or it might be a fresh start for him to go somewhere else.
He hasn't been there that long.
I'm thinking with the cost-cutting measures, we should just get the head.
Exactly what you want people.
That's very good, Bob.
Wait, we're not allowed to talk about the cost-cutting measures, you idiot. Don't steal my heat. I could name another guy who wants out if I could.
These are by the way, these opinions are the opinions of Mark Madden and do not reflect that of...
They're not even opinions. They're what I've heard.
Okay, then what is it?
All right.
Billy Gunn.
Oh, he can say that. Did I say that?
Well, you beat me to that one.
We don't need anybody else wrecking up what's starting to be a pretty good morale in the locker room.
Well, you know what I always said about Billy Gunn, Carlos?
Well, no, what have you said?
If he thinks he's any more than a catchphrase,
right,
his ass better call somebody.
Oh, great. I also heard B. Arthur said that at the Republican National Convention.
Right. As she announced her engagement to Al Gore.
By the way,
chat room does have a question.
Go ahead.
Good. We like the chat room.
They want to know why you agreed to do the hair match where you lost your hair in Mexico, and if you regret it.
Are you talking to Mark or Konnan?
This would be to Konnan.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Was that to me?
Yes.
What was the question?
Why you
about losing your hair in Mexico if you regret doing it?
I never had a match losing my hair. I just took it off because I used to wear these long braids. Like, probably, this is the funny thing. I actually met Vampiro, and he had, like, these red extensions in his hair when he first came to Mexico, and blue ones. And I asked him, where'd you get that? Because I thought it was cool, and he lived in L.A. at the time. He said, well, they're called extensions, which is like hair that's, like, tied to your hair. So I went out, and I made mine all braids so it wouldn't look like Vampiro. Then Vampiro went, and he got braids. And then, you know, there were always, like, jokes between us. So what I did is I made mine like multicolored braids, and fans, the girls would rip them when I would go down the aisle, and it just started to hurt, and so I just took it all off. It was just like a big pain in the ass. So I just shaved it off, but I never lost my hair.
Now, do you like having no hair now?
Yes, because when I look at it growing back, I think one day I probably won't have any hair anyway. So let me just beat it. Let me beat nature to what it's going to do to me anyways. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good approach, I guess.
Here's a question. Obviously self-serving, but the people can tabulate this as we talk about stuff. Was my commentating Sunday and Monday, and I think I was also on Thunder, was it good, very bad, or deplorable?
Interesting you should ask that, because the chat room is saying, why doesn't Konnan commentate on Thunder? And then the response was, WCW is afraid to let Konnan commentate.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit more of Konnan commentating.
I like the interaction between me and Mark Madden on the shows.
Well, we kidnapped the pay-per-view.
Bob, why haven't they given you an on-air role?
Why haven't they given me an on-air role?
Yeah.
I'm not terribly photogenic.
So?
Oh, okay, and I'm Burt Reynolds.
I have no idea.
You're B. Arthur.
Right. Hey, can I tell a Konnan story?
Yes.
Konnan knows this story.
It's a Konnan.
One time I was at a Hooters.
Right.
I was at a Hooters in Pittsburgh, and I was wearing a WCW shirt. And this very attractive waitress goes, "You work for WCW?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "We had a bunch of wrestlers in here 2 weeks ago," which was true because there was a house show in Pittsburgh like a couple weeks before that. And she goes, "One of the wrestlers tried to pick me up, a bald guy with glasses, and he was Italian looking, and he had a lot of tattoos." So I'm thinking to myself, nobody fits that description, because the Italian thing she was wrong on, right?
Right.
And I go, "Well, what was he like?" And she goes, "Well, he tried to pick me up," which was no surprise. This girl was gorgeous. And I go, "Well, what did he say to you?" He goes, "We want to know if he could come back to my apartment and toss my salad and peel my potatoes."
Yes.
So I said, "I think I may know who that is."
Well, that's a pretty good. That
of course was D'Lo Brown then. Right?
It sometimes works.
Or B. Arthur, because she's got it like that.
Oh, yeah, this is like the old days when we would just beat stuff to death.
Right. I know. How annoying, Bob and Jeremy? Was it very annoying, semi-annoying, or not annoying at all when me and Mark Madden in the first 2 minutes of the pay-per-view said, "I've got it like that," at least 15 times?
Now, annoying to who?
To you guys.
Oh, to us, it didn't bother me a bit.
Nah, you're preaching to the choir.
Okay, so you...
Disco hated it because we were stealing...
Like it, however.
So guys that don't got it like that didn't like it.
Right.
Disco got hot, though, Konnan, because we were stealing his perceived heat.
Listen to this, Bob and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Disco is mad. Who's a guy that steals lines from everybody, because he actually put out a line that he wanted all of us to say, because we always didn't ignore all the other BS lines he says, and this one's kind of semi-cool. So Mark Madden actually said that Lance Storm has got it like that in Canada, which he does, and Disco's mad and doesn't want to give him any more catchphrases, as if Mark needed any.
Wait, he was legit really mad. And Disco's never, ever given me one thing I've used. Ever. And he was giving me a hard time. Carlos, you were there. He was saying, he was really serious. He was going, "Don't ever use somebody else's catchphrase unless that person's involved. Don't ever say somebody's got it like that unless the filthy animals are on the screen, unless I'm on the screen." And I go, "Or what?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Or what?" I go, "Do you think you have the stroke to get me off Nitro?" I go, "I'm thinking of saying that everybody's got it like that the first 5 segments."
Out of spite.
Yeah, I'm not a spiteful guy. I'm very forgiving, much like B. Arthur.
Right. Konnan, go ahead. Okay. No, let's talk about other things here.
All right. When are you going to have Thong Thursday again?
Oh, did you hear about Thong Thursday?
Yeah, why wasn't I invited on the Thong Thursday?
We tried calling you. You weren't.
Oh, that's a crock. That's a flat-out lie.
That is not a lie.
Do you have a thong?
How about this one, Carl the Rave Roulette? When I look at him, he has nothing that would even corroborate the word rave with him. Rave is glow sticks, a lot of fun, ecstasy, having a good time.
What did he say?
He was talking about the Carnival cruise ship. The ecstasy. So you're saying that it does not. He does not entail the persona.
When I think of a rave, I think of an underground party.
Right.
He may be the beer master or something, a beer master.
Oh, Carl Roulette.
Yeah.
No, he's not the rave.
Yeah. And he's not.
He's like, you know what he is? He's the kegger.
That's there you go.
He's the six-pack of Bud in your back seat.
Wow.
And I like him.
He's actually pretty impressive.
I think he's a pretty good performer, but he's not the rave.
No. And the best thing they did there is Lance do the mic work, because I don't think him or Alex could cut a good promo.
They haven't got it like that.
No, they ain't got it like that. Any more questions, Bob Ryder?
They want to know where Disco's dogs are at.
Where's what?
Where are Disco's dogs?
Dogs? I don't think he has any.
Actually, I think the drug-sniffing dogs caught him at the airport.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's not start any rumors here, please.
Right. I remember, Jeremy, we got to be controversial. That's what WCW Live is all about.
What if they arrested Disco on TV Monday? Where were we at? Wichita?
Yeah.
Right.
And they brought him back to Canada to stand trial. On live TV as a rib without him even knowing it.
You know,
You think you
not
can
a bad
convince
idea.
Vince to do that, Jeremy?
Absolutely.
Tell him to call Canadian authorities, have him on live TV, arrest him for whatever it was he was stopped for, and give him another cavity search, an anal probe, and then bring him back to Canada to like a remote part that's near Siberia and hold him there until they can find an alibi saying that Disco wasn't the perpetrator of this act.
I got a better idea.
What?
Accuse him of kidnapping Jacques Rougeau right before the Thunder taping and
Right.
shoot him right in the head.
All right.
How about sending him to work Jacques Rougeau's territory for a year and doing jobs for Jacques Rougeau so he can stay over in Montreal? Because as his
All right. Very good.
Don't call me until you want to do business. Did I say that?
All right. We are here tonight
We should call Disco when we want to do business.
on Thursday, and Bob Ryder and Jeremy Borash along with you. This is WCW Live on WCW.com. By the way, last night's interview with Vince Russo, one of the most listened to programs in this history, or the program's history.
Is it really?
Oh, yes. Big
Jeremy,
numbers.
who knew Vince was going to be on there? Do you actually post this out on the internet or something?
Yep.
God, I wish.
Hey, can I plug my Nitro Grill appearance?
Please.
Next Thursday and Friday, the Mark Madden Sports Talk Show, 1 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live from the Nitro Grill. I'll be signing autographs, looking for rats, eating free food. I mean, everything I can do at the Nitro Grill next Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing from 1 to 5 Las Vegas time,
That sounds fantastic.
including my big radio show. Carlos has been on the radio show,
Yeah, good radio show. Larry from New York has been on this show many a time.
and he's been on that show as well.
Yeah. So is there going to be a transcript of this, of Vince Russo's interview?
There is one up on the internet.
You're going to post one up?
No, there's
There already is.
they're all over the place.
All right. Well, I'm
A
going to.
transcript of what we're doing right now?
No, well, there's
That'll be tomorrow.
That will be tomorrow. But the one
Did he say about his extreme dislike for Disco Inferno during the interview?
I made no mention of Disco.
Well, that's a very little known fact to the common folk out there, that he hates Disco with a passion.
Wait. Well, actually, I wouldn't say he hates him. That's like hating a puppy.
Right.
But he has adopted the company line of Disco being the company whipping boy.
Okay.
Right, and it's hard. Did you see the list? Do we talk about the list?
No.
Oh, did you hear? I don't know if I think I know I said it. Tony goes, it'll be Kevin Nash, Sting, Scott Steiner,
And Booker.
Booker T, and Disco. And I said, okay, SAT fans, which one of those does not belong?
Wow.
Did you watch the show, Konnan?
No, I didn't watch it, and I'll tell you why. I was under protest because Disco Inferno, I've been trying to convince him for the last 3 months to try to get funny vignettes with us on the air because, he's got a good sense of humor. And we were going to do like a lot of funny stuff, and there were certain lines that I told them not to use until we did our vignettes so people could see how humorous we can be. Well, he decided to go on the list and spend them on Nash so Nash could look good. So
Did he really?
yeah, I'm under protest. I don't want to know about the show, but you can go ahead and let the other fans know.
Why can't you kick Disco out of the Filthy Animals?
Because he's in the booking committee, so at least we know we'll get a semi-push.
That's all right.
That's
Kick
fine.
him out and add Ed Ferrara.
I'm thinking of bringing Vince Russo in.
That might be good. I mean, it'll be a good rub for you.
Yeah.
If he said, where are all my dogs at with that New York accent, it might be pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what happened on the list? Was it good, bad, so-so?
Very entertaining, I thought. I thought Disco, I thought all the guys looked like stars, which was good.
Right, which is what we want.
And they were all dressed really well. Everybody was, well represented, I thought.
Right.
I thought coming away from it, the real stars of the show, I hate to say this, were Disco and Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He gave Nash all my lines.
Yeah.
You know, they'd already had this.
Right. Well, Nash got Disco to work with him.
Yeah.
That's why they came off as the stars.
He's a great moderator. So even if he would have been a guest, he would have stolen the show. I mean, Nash is a witty guy anywhere you put him.
Right.
But that was good that he was a moderator. Hopefully they'll do another show with the Filthy Animals somewhat involved.
I thought you would have been good on the show, Konnan.
Did they have overnight ratings for that show?
Actually, yes. And it did twice as good as any previous episode of the list had done.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
The first showing or the one that was on later at night?
That I do not know.
What was the question, Bob?
It showed twice that night, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. And,
they showed early and then later on, yeah.
I'm guessing it was the later one, Bob, because we promoted it heavily.
We talked about it the whole 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'd say it was a classic appearance of wrestlers on a media outlet. When Konnan, Ray, and Hoovy appeared as Mexican radio executives on the Mark Madden show.
That was great. And we were supposed to be making Mark Madden offers to leave the Pittsburgh station, which they're still, from what I understand, Mark, the guys from Mexico called me yesterday, and they said that deal is still, out there for you if you want.
Believe me, I'm interested, especially the part about Jennifer Lopez's panties.
Amongst the things we offered Mark, because he's also got a deal from Memphis from Jackie Fargo, right?
Right, in Cleveland, Pete Kruner. Des Moines, Jeremy Borash. What the?
So, one of the things we offered him was two lifetime pass to Taco Bell, two Mexican wrestling masks, a meeting with
Selma Hayek.
Lopez.
No, Selma Hayek. A meeting with Selma Hayek.
And this is what Hoovy or...
Although it was made very clear, Carlos, that I would only be meeting Selma Hayek, that it wouldn't be a date.
Yeah, he'd only be meeting Selma Hayek, okay? No date. And Hoovy, to try to up the ante, offered him a night with Jennifer Lopez. Now, we finally found out that Jennifer Lopez is... Tell him, please, who it is, Mark.
A cross between Jennifer Lopez and Cyndi Lauper. But it was funny because when he said Jennifer Lopez, like every head in the room turned to Hoovy, like, who in the hell are you talking about?
It was a tremendous moment.
Yeah.
Actually, probably the best moment on the show was when all three of the Latino contingent started gibbering away in Spanish for like 45 seconds.
Right.
Kind of like, did you see the Great Muda's promo last night during his vignette?
No.
No, amazingly, I couldn't bring myself to watch last night's show.
No. What, did he talk in Japanese, Spanish?
I don't quite know what it was.
He sang the Vapor song, turning Japanese.
No, that was V. Arthur. All right. Bob, the chat room, I'm sure, is very active tonight, as they always are.
I hate the chat room.
They're about 2 minutes behind us.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the chat room enough to love or hate them, so I'm undecided.
Well, I kind of like you, so...
I have another plug, by the way. Can I get it in?
Sure.
Go away.
I'm going to be starting to write again for MarkMadden.com.
Is that right?
Just like a brief 2-paragraph column every other day.
Every other day?
Right, try to get more hits so I get more advertising and make more money. Two paragraphs is no work.
Right.
So, but I mean, let's face it, 2 paragraphs of wisdom from me is worth a lot to the people.
Absolutely.
That's a prize there, is what that is. Well, very good, Mark. We look forward to seeing that. I didn't know that site was still going.
Yeah, my webmasters kept it going.
What was that,
I
Bob?
visited that site today.
Is that right?
Yes, I did.
You know what's funny? You know how on some sites they hate Bob Ryder and they like Dave Meltzer? On other sites they hate Dave Meltzer, they like Bob Ryder. On some sites they like Wade Keller and they hate Bob Ryder. On my site, the message board people hate everybody. This is the most bitter group of message board posters ever. They friggin' hate everybody. They hate me. It's my website. They hate me.
What was it?
There's only one person they really like.
Who?
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Carlos, you were going to say something there. I'm sorry.
No, I just said that's like Pittsburgh and Boston fans. They hate anything you put in front of them, just like the New York fans.
Yeah, you're right. It seems like they're...
We were like in Canada, the last place we were at, I think it's called Kamloops or something like that.
Yeah.
They hated everybody. It was great.
They're very particular about what they like.
Yes. I hope we never go back there again. Did I say that?
Beautiful countryside from what I heard.
Yeah, beautiful countryside. If you like looking at, greenery for 3 hours straight. Yeah.
Right.
Long, winding, tedious roads. It was only like it was like a winding road from Kamloops, whatever, forget it. I don't even want to get into that.
Konnan, are you on the house show tomorrow night?
No, I'm not, thank God. I'm hurt. I'm still hurt. My tricep is still ruptured, and I will be back in action, non-stop action, juices action in a month.
Very good. The house show tomorrow night.
There is no action like the juices action.
No.
Mankato, Minnesota, and then we go to Sioux City the following night. Had a chance to see the lineups. Great shows every night through the weekend.
How do you know they're going to be good? They don't even have any matches set. They just...
No, they do.
Oh, do you have any of the names? There's somebody in the chat room that's been begging to know who's on the house shows this weekend. I
know, I believe. Where are we Sunday night?
Now, I saw a name there that surprised me. Could you and Bob tell me if this is true? I saw DDP's name there.
No, but I can tell you Lex Luger will be on all 3 shows.
Really?
Yes.
Who will he be wrestling?
I do not know.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez. Might I add, by the way,
these house shows.
Carlos, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you wanted to avoid being seen by people who could bring harm to you,
right,
what would be safer, the witness protection program or working on a WCW house show?
Wow. That's a tough one. I would just say stand behind Heidi. Mike Awesome Broker.
That would work, too.
Yes.
There was a movement afoot when Heidi turned on Mike Awesome to go with Lance Storm.
Yeah.
In interest of kayfabe, that Heidi should travel with Lance Storm. But the company got rid of Heidi.
She's still with the company?
No, she's gone.
Thank God. Did I say that again?
No.
She's now working for Western Purina.
Huh?
Very good.
Hey, I got a question. Jeremy, you're one of the bookers. And by the way, I want all the fans out there, when things go bad on RTV, to blame Jeremy Borash along with everybody else.
I'm merely a random contributor and consultant, yes.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, I forgot it. I know you went to the sex tape thing was your idea.
Hello?
So what would you say, Mark?
The sex tape thing was your idea. Oh, I know what my question was. Is Mike Awesome still the fat chick thriller?
I don't know.
That's none of your business.
Oh, my God. Now you're going to say people because you're a booker?
Security, and the guy that looks like Crowbar from R&B Security, the new fat chick thrillers, because I saw that for myself in Kamloops.
Oh,
Disco.
Wow. I hate to say it, I saw it too.
Really?
That was brutal.
They liked the larger gals.
Yes.
Jeremy, I got another question. Jeremy, do you think it's time to pull out all the stops and turn Crowbar into Wrestling Jesus?
I'm not going to answer that. Konnan?
Okay, Jeremy, I have a question.
Bob, your
The
opinion.
angles I pitched to you about 3 weeks ago, where the Filthy Animals not only look funny and cool, but very street savvy. Have you brought that up yet?
To be honest,
yes.
That is, I left that up to Disco.
Why? That's the reason I gave it to you. Disco can't even get a push for himself, much less the Filthy Animals.
Disco's the only booker in the history of wrestling that can't get himself over.
No, you know what? I will say this.
Well, Kevin Sullivan.
What in the hell? And at least he tried, though. Disco hasn't. But let me tell you about Disco. I got on his case because I told the other Filthy Animals that he wasn't doing anything to get our characters over, and Vince Russo actually told me in Canada on Sunday, he said Disco drives him up a wall trying to give ideas for the Filthy Animals. So I have now told Disco that maybe it's working in reverse, not to give any more ideas.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Okay.
Oh, let me ask you, what about my Rick Steiner idea?
I don't know what it was. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else.
It's a good idea.
I don't know what it is.
You mean I pitched this idea last night to Russo on the phone, and he didn't bring it up today?
That's what he must have thought about it.
Well, now I'm hot.
All right. Can we move on to something else?
I will say one thing. I love Vampiro's entrance music. And I like ours, too.
You have new entrance music.
Yes.
Did you almost get blown up on Monday? And I'm not talking about out of breath.
No.
It looked as though the pyro and the sheet coming down were a little off.
Yeah, well, I like to stand real close to the curtain when it comes down.
Yeah?
So it gives the effect that maybe the pyro went off on my face.
Believe that.
I'll tell you what I really like.
Yeah.
I think, like, when you see Tigress gyrate behind the curtain,
Yeah.
she'd be a really good stripper.
Well, the bad thing is sometimes you're not sure if it's Hoovy or Tigress. Bob, you're being awfully quiet.
I'm just listening.
Bob, what are they saying in the chat room?
Yeah.
They are at least 2 minutes behind and not saying much of anything. They're
Can I take a poll?
watching a different product on television right now.
Can I take a poll?
Go ahead.
Who has better hair, Hoovy or Tigress? I'd like to know in the chat room.
How about within the group here?
Well, I would pick Hoovy. That's easy.
Konnan?
I think Hoovy has better everything. What the hell?
All right, very good. Bob, care to vote?
I think Hoovy.
All right, can we...
What did Bob say?
Hoovy, he said.
Okay.
How about you, Jeremy?
No, Jeremy doesn't have very good hair.
No, not at all. I think Hoovy has, yes, beautiful hair. There's no doubt about it. It would look good on a woman, no doubt.
Yes.
This program's treading too lightly. We need to go out in a blaze of glory.
All right. Well,
Like Bon Jovi.
But can we throw a somewhat serious topic out there?
Yes.
Can we pull in that direction here?
I'd rather not, but go ahead.
All right. I'm curious, guys, if the reality-based stuff we're seeing now, or the so-called reality-based stuff, is going to be the next step in the evolution of this business. Vince talked last night about how he was there when they changed the business 3 years ago, and how he thinks the business is ready for another big change.
What do you mean by reality-based?
Well, maybe what we saw Monday in the opening segment.
You mean the shoot stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like shoot stuff in small doses, and I think we're doing a good job. I thought the Goldberg stuff Monday was great. But I think one thing we need to keep track of, and indeed any wrestling company needs to keep track of, is when you emphasize this is a shoot, you're detracting from everything else.
Do you really think that's the case? Or do you think that Vince, I think's answer last night was something to the effect of, well, it's up for the other wrestlers to make it a convincing effort to...
Yeah, but the thing is, I agree with Mark, but the only way that a wrestler, I mean, I could go out there and, throw punches like Chris Benoit if I had to and make him look more convincing than the normal stuff I throw out there, but...
Well, Jeremy, you're talking more about storylines than actual work, right?
That's what I'm going to. But if Vince doesn't give us the forum to make it look like there's really personal animosity, then people are never going to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't so much the work rate that people are believing about Goldberg, Steiner, Nash, because all three of them really haven't wrestled in there long enough or done anything where you would go, oh, wow, they look like they really hate each other. It's mostly been interviews. But if they give us the same type of forum, if I can go out there and let's say I have a beef, let's say Juventud has a beef with Rey Mysterio for some reason. They go out there and they make it personal and they give him the time and they make it seem like something, then it can all be reality-based. You know what I'm saying? But if the only ones that are getting that time allotted to them is a certain segment, then, of course, I would agree it's going to detract and make everything else mean like...
Plus, you have to be very careful. My God, I'm getting serious. You have to be very careful with who you give reality-based storylines to do. Case in point, the Goldberg stuff Monday and Russo stuff on Monday was very well done. Would you all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Very good acting, right?
Bob, do you think?
I agree.
I mean, very well done. Vince is a great shoot-style guy. His acting was impeccable, and Billy was great because he almost hit me in the face with the table. Okay, but on the pay-per-view, we had what was supposed to be a reality-based angle with Stacey Hancock and Major Guns, right?
Right.
Did anyone buy that as reality-based? No.
I wouldn't have... I don't think that was... Well,
I don't know. We get so tied up in calling things different names. I mean, it's like calling wrestling sports entertainment.
Well, no. We were supposed to present that as a shoot.
I understand. But we're using reality-based on things. Wrestling's always been reality-based. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, there was a good guy and a bad guy, and you used to have to think that they hated each other.
Right, no, but Bob, my point being, I think they wanted us to they wanted the fans to believe on Sunday that Stacy Keibler, a.k.a. Miss Hancock, was really suffering unscheduled medical problems in the middle of her match with Major Guns, right?
Right, but I mean, that's been done since I was a little boy. I mean, they always have that kind of stuff. That's not
right, but the acting in that case, and no knock on Major Guns and Stacy Keibler, and I think Stacy Keibler is going to make $1 million for this company, more than that, because she can talk. She's one of those real female that looks great but can talk.
Bob.
But I hate to say this, in that situation, the acting on both their parts was execrable.
Well, but here's the deal, and I understand. I think this is what Bob is saying, and I'll let Bob say it if I'm wrong. But even if it wasn't presented that way, it would have still gone down the same way. You wouldn't have handled it any differently.
The only difference is not the wrestlers or the storylines. It's the way the announcers are treating it, and they're talking as if they're letting us behind the curtain as fans to see that this isn't real. And they're explaining to people what they already know. And that's, I think, where we might have a problem. Everybody has known
I want
forever.
to say this, and I agree with that statement. That's one of the problems. But then again, the announcers are only saying what they're being told to say.
I understand. Absolutely.
Well, no, and the problem with that is, too...
Let me just say this real quick. But, Bob, and I love your, analysis because you're very analytical that way, how you get really deep into the fiber of stuff. But here's the thing. I really believe that what Mark is saying, or at least this is what I think he's saying, and I know this is what I think. When you make a statement, when you're trying to say, okay, here's the show, but this part right here is really true. This is really happening. I mean, this is something bigger than the show. This, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, there's like a focus on, okay, this guy's going to quit the company, or Vince. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they're drawing lines and saying, hey, look at what's really going on here. And that's when it can get dangerous.
Let me throw out what Vince said last night and see his approach on it. Maybe this is we're using labels as real and reality-based. He used the word last night to describe the first two segments of Nitro as a sophisticated storyline.
Right.
Well, I think what was good about the first two segments of Nitro was, I thought where the announcers were effective, including myself, if I may humbly say, I decided, because, we were criticized Sunday by management, myself and Tony and so forth, because we did not get the Stacy Keibler thing open over as a shoot. Okay? So I made a decision in my mind that the next time I was presented with what I thought was a shoot situation on TV, what was supposed to be a shoot situation, I was going to act confused and dumbfounded and have very little to say, because if something happened I didn't expect, that's exactly what I would do in real life. So as you guys saw after the Goldberg thing, we came at TV, I was laughing. Kind of, screw me, what the hell is going on? And I think that's the only way to do it, but in fairness to the announcers, you can't make Paulie Shore look like Laurence Olivier. It was easy to make the stuff with Vince Russo and Bill Goldberg look like a shoot because the acting was very good. But whenever you're going to do a shoot-style situation, you better have your best actors involved. Because there are some people in this company, in any company, that their acting skills are so little they couldn't make anything seem like a shoot.
Plus, what makes that angle so good, Bob, Jeremy, and Mark, is that there was actual underlying tension there anyways.
Right, and what they did was they took a situation that Internet fans knew about, and they took a situation that had been built up in the storylines or the shoot interviews for the last several weeks. Even people that didn't understand that there's some backstage tension knew that these people really didn't like each other because of the shoot interviews.
Right, it's very Pillman-esque.
Let me ask you a question, Bob, Jeremy, and Mark, because you guys are a lot more into the Internet world than I am. How bad is it, Bob, I want to ask you first, how bad is it to try to cater your programs to Internet fans? Do they really make that much of a difference? Is that a good way to go because they're smart anyways and you're smartening up the normal fans? Or what do you think about that?
I think, and a lot of people disagree with me, but I think that the Internet fans are an easily identifiable target group for us. We know that
kind of like a focus group.
Yeah, we already know that those people like the product and like wrestling or they wouldn't be coming to these websites.
Right.
And we know that there's a fixed number of those people out there. So if we can do things that can start building a base there, that kind of lays the foundation that then you can build on top of. If we've got, whatever number you want to use, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, however many Internet fans there are, and we can just move 20% of those fans to buy a pay-per-view, you've got a significant head start on the total pay-per-view audience.
Plus, if you get something over with the Internet fans as a good storyline, chances are you've got it over as a good storyline with everybody.
Yeah, and these are people that are spending their time and money to listen to shows like this and to visit websites several times a day. And they're more likely to be the kind of people that would spend money on merchandise or spend money to go to an event or order a video or order a pay-per-view. I mean, they're people that already are familiar with the product and like the product, and they're right there for us to do something with.
So let me ask you a question, Jeremy. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that there's enough Internet fans? And like I said, I don't have an opinion either or because I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. But do you think there's enough Internet fans right now? And obviously it's growing because the whole Internet universe is growing. Is there enough fans right now that if you have them happy and that they can make a difference as far as pay-per-view buys? Like if all of them said, we're not going to buy a pay-per-view, is there enough for them to make a dent in the pay-per-view or not really?
Oh, I'd say without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, Bob, I know you wrote a pretty descriptive analysis of the breakdown of fans who check out the Internet, and you did it on a column, I think, last week.
Yeah, and basically there's a little over 1 million. What I did, I took the actual statistics of people that visit the WWF website on a monthly basis. There's a little over, 1.5 million, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but that's a lot of fans. Right. And not all of them are the hardcore fans that visit the page every day, but that's people that visited that website at least once during the month.
So between hardcore and casual Internet browsers, you've got a pretty big audience there.
Absolutely.
I think anytime you get somebody who takes their time to get on the Internet and check the different wrestling sites and listen to shows like this, they're the ones who are going to spend money to buy a pay-per-view long before a casual fan who will watch Nitro once a month.
Exactly. That you got to convince them on the pre-show. Do one of you guys take it? And then I'm really interested in what I'm about to ask you. Do you try to write the show for the Internet fans, knowing that if they like it, the casual fans will like it, or do you try to do an even mix?
Bob,
I think you have to mix it up, and sometimes we try to spend too much writing for the Internet fans. We need to write something that at the same time won't insult the Internet fans, but also won't confuse fans that don't know what the Internet's all about. And it's a very tough thing to do.
Very good answer. And one last thing I do want to say, and I wish that the announcers, Mark, are you there?
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
I wish that people like you would do
I can't hear him.
I know that I haven't been in there when this happened, but if I was, I would. I think that, Mark, anytime they go up there and they say, well, this is a shoot or this is a work or, I was unprofessional, whatever the term may be, I think you should explain it because there's a lot of people out there that don't know what it means.
You mean specifically when?
When they go out there and they grab the microphone and somebody goes, well, I'm shooting right now. People got to be thinking, shooting what? Blanks? Shooting stars? Shooting what? And this guy didn't want to do a job for me or this, you know what I'm saying? You don't think that you should explain those terminologies?
Do you think it's the announcer's job or the guy using it? Whose job is it to explain it?
I think it's...
I would say the announcer because...
I think it's the company's job to let us know if we should do it.
Excuse me? What did you say, Mark?
What did you say, Mark?
It's the company's job to let us know if we should explain that. I've never been told to explain that.
What is your feeling on that, Bob?
It's very hard.
Hang on, Mark. Go ahead.
I think sometimes we get out there and we go too far in some of the inside stuff that we say, and it would be good to have somebody that would explain a little bit of what's going on. The shoot, work, those kind of things, are confusing to some of the casual fans. But then again, you look at The Rock made a huge catchphrase, calling people jabronis.
But
which was a word not many people knew what it meant.
I think people think jabroni means like an idiot, which it does. But if they really meant that was actually a word used for a guy that was going in there to do a job. You know what I'm saying? Jabroni.
Right.
I think people just think you're an idiot. But if somebody would explain what jabronis is back in the old days, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wrestling vernacular should at least be explained sometimes to the casual fan because I know I've been around people and they'll use words like, I remember the Nitro girls, like when they first came in and they were hearing like all these wrestling terms and they were misusing them. Well, I got this gimmick idea for you. was like, what?
All right, then I'm going to play devil's advocate, Konnan. I don't know what it means to peel someone's potatoes.
Would you like me to say it on the air?
I don't think so.
I would.
No, probably not.
Well, you know when you're at Thanksgiving and you're having a turkey?
Yes.
And your mom peels carrots and potatoes?
Yes.
It's something like that.
Excellent description.
I don't want to get fired.
Good.
I'll leave it to your imagination.
All right.
Want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I actually invented that term. It really means nothing, but it sounds kind of disgusting if you think about it. So I actually used it on the air, and it actually got censored. And Eric Bischoff he actually showed me a letter from whoever the censor is, and it said, please tell Konnan to refrain from using gay innuendos and prison terms such as, tossing my salad and peeling my potatoes. I'm thinking to myself, well, peeling my potatoes is something I just invented, but I guess it just sounded, and that's the reason I did it.
Was the toss salad thing a Chris Rock deal?
No, the toss salad is actually a prison thing, which Chris Rock used from the prison.
Do you want to know what that means?
No, please no. Please.
Would you like to know what that means?
No, please. I don't want to go to prison. I want.
Would you like to know what I meant on Monday when I told Chronic about helping Richard Gere find his gerbils?
No, please. I got the Richard Gere reference.
I bet you did.
Well.
What the?
All right. By the way.
Bob, what are they saying about us in the chat room?
I think we lost them.
Wow.
What happened? Let me ask you this, Konnan.
Yeah. I think we got 2 counterpoint on them.
Yeah, maybe. Are you getting along with the boys from Chronic now? A lot of internet rumors saying that little dissension with.
Hey, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I have to go.
All right, Mark. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. But tomorrow night on the show, I might add.
Yeah.
I will not be able to make it. However, calling back for the first time, I believe, in over a week, Larry from New York.
I look forward to hearing from Larry.
All right, thanks, guys. Call us. I'll talk to you.
All right, you've got it like that.
All right, thank you. Disco Inferno joining us tomorrow night as well.
Sounds like another classic Friday night show.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I would like for me and Disco to be on the same show just once.
That's probably all they'd let us have you on.
That's probably the amount of times we do it.
I was actually on a show with Dave Meltzer about 2 years ago with Raven, and he got so much heat saying stuff that when I came back to work, they wanted to fire me. That would be the last time I'm ever on any show with Raven. Scott Lee is incredible. Good luck to him in WWF, though. He's a hell of a talent. Chronic and myself, if there's problems.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you go into
absolutely, they don't know how to take a joke. I went out there, and there was a match. It was Disco, Ray, and Hoovy against them. They went into, they basically squashed them. It was a massacre. They almost decapitated Disco with a mistimed move. They sold nothing at all, destroyed them, then later refused to do a job to them. Now, while I was at the announcer's table, what did you want me to say? Wow, we look like 3 J-Brones. We can't even beat 2 guys. God, Brian Adams and Brian Clark, you guys are so good. Look, what did they want me to say? Of course I had to shoot on them. But that's what you do. You make fun of them. And if they're that bad that my comments are going to make them look worse, then they're not that good to begin with. I mean, people should have been either laughing or hating what I was saying, but one of the guys wanted to fight me. One of the guys said that his wife called him up, and he had friends from WWF calling him, and he goes, do you have anything personal against me? No, I don't. I've never even wrestled Wrath in my life. I don't think I've ever had more than a 10-minute conversation with him, or Brian Clark, Chronic 2, the one with the mustache. The other guy, I have nothing personal. I just went out there and I was trying to be controversial or get heat or what a heel, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And, they got mad and then one of them brought up the fact that he found out how old I was. He goes, well, we're both the same age. And I just said, well, we don't really look it. You dress a lot older, And, I just think they have I don't know, maybe they have a midlife crisis or something.
Now, so you do not regret, or not from a personal standpoint, or you do not regret any of the things you said?
No, maybe personally I regret that it hurt them, but then I've talked to enough people that go, they should have lightened up. I feel bad if somebody comes up to me, if you or Bob came up to me and I said a joke at your expense, and you guys came back to me and said, hey, K-Dog, I didn't think that was funny, you hurt my feelings, I would feel bad because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be funny, and sometimes when you're funny, and you're controversial at it, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You know, I would feel bad because I was just trying to get, you know. But then more people would tell me they should lighten up. It wasn't that bad. Then
all right, so then they, and I'm not trying to add fuel to the fire, but
yeah.
they did commentary the next week.
Right, and they said that I was ugly and I looked like a turtle or something.
Yeah.
Well, look, they had 2 weeks to come up with good stuff. If that's the best they could come up with, well, more power to them, because when I need to give them an extra week, I'll just rock them again, you know. And so now all they did was open up the floodgates, you know. Just when I come back, you know, it's just, I mean, they're never really going to out-talk me. They might outlift me or something. If they want to go into a weight room, I'm sure they could probably push more weight than me. That, you know, maybe they got better hair or something. But if we get on the mic, it's on. And I don't really care. It isn't a personal thing. I swear to God, it isn't a personal thing. But I do have a question for Bob and Jeremy, okay?
Go ahead.
About Chronic. You know those shirts that they wear?
Yes.
Do you think that they snap at the groin? I don't have any idea. But, you know, I mean, they look like something out of some, you know, I don't know, some gothic gay movie or something.
All right, very good.
Did I say that again?
I've never seen one of those.
Not even a quote.
All right.
Vamp gave me one.
Did he really?
Yeah.
How are you getting along with Vamp these days?
Very good. I used to hate his guts, but I get along with him very good. You know what? When me and Vamp were in Mexico, here's the real deal. He want me to tell you real quick what started the heat between me and him?
Absolutely.
What actually started the heat between me and him is he came into Mexico and I was a huge star, and he asked me, should I go babyface? And I said, no, you should stay heel because you don't know how to wrestle. And as a babyface in Mexico, you have to be very technical. Well, he became a face anyways, and he got a huge, I mean, like, he became a big star. And I never thought he would. I never thought that his look would get him over because he was a terrible wrestler. Now he's a very good wrestler. But he was terrible then, but the girls really liked his look. And he became a star in his looks, which had never happened in Mexican history. So I think he thought from right there, and I'm sure other people put this in his ear, that I was maybe jealous of him and I didn't want him to be a big star. Believe me, when I first saw him, he did not have star written all over him. And then after that, they offered him a piece in a soap opera, and he didn't take it because he wanted to talk. Now, it was hard for him to talk because, A, the part was for a deaf mute, but he wanted them to make the deaf mute talk somehow. And, you know, the part was for a deaf mute, and plus he didn't know how to...
Very few...
Changing the finish is what he was doing.
Exactly, Bob. Exactly. He changed the finish.
Right, he was trying to change the finish, and plus he didn't know how to talk Spanish. So they went to the second guy that they had in mind, and they gave it to me, and me seeing my career took off even more, and he seems to think that I stole that part from him. And like I've told him a million times, if you wouldn't have said no, they wouldn't have offered it to me. And then from there, immaturity, professional jealousy, personal jealousy, the boys stirring stuff up, it just grew bigger, and it got a life of its own. And I think at its zenith, if we would have seen each other in the middle of the street, which we did have 2 confrontations, we probably would have killed each other. But now we've mellowed out. You know, he's married. I think he's going to have a baby. You know, he's older now. I mean, when we met each other, he was like maybe 22. I was 24. I mean, you know, and fame can make you change, especially the type we had, which was really larger than life, like The Rock. I mean, it was like The Rock and Steve Austin. And I like them that they're working together. We were too immature to know better. But now we get along, and he's a cool guy, and I respect his talent.
So how did you do, I'm curious, as a deaf mute?
As a deaf mute, very good. I didn't say anything. I thought it was the hardest role you've ever played. Yeah. No, but you know what? It was hard. I'll tell you why. Because a deaf mute has to show feelings through facial expression. So I had to show I was happy or sad or mad or whatever. And it was hard, and I was nervous. But it was good because I did 2 soap operas after that, and I did a rap record. I know Vampire had a rock band. And, I mean, we were real big stars over there. And we really miss Mexico a lot. We talk about it a lot, and we'd love to go back together.
Now, let me ask you this. You have a new theme song or a new song you come out to the ring with?
Yes. That was a song that me and the guy that did the 2 videos with me, I don't know if you remember the videos.
Sure.
Me and the guy that was in the video with me, we did it, and now we added Ray into it because Ray actually can rap pretty good. I mean, you know, he's not excellent, but he's getting really good. And Ray sounds good, and so all 3 of us did it this time, and we talked to Vince about doing another video, and he said, yeah, so we're just looking at budget constraints and stuff, and we're going to try to shoot another one.
Now, I really liked the last song you had.
Yeah, filthy, dirty, that's the way we like it. Well, this one you'll like it too, it's even better. It's just like anything else. It's like if you see Bob, who since I've known him, Bob, have you ever shaved your mustache?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I remember the time you shaved your mustache, you look weird and it takes like a couple days getting used to. That's how the song is. You have to, it's new, so we'll have to...
You know what? It's an analogy that makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
For some odd reason. I didn't think it would, but yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, you just have to get used to it, because even Stevie Ray goes, hey, what happened to the last song? That was slamming. I go, bro, this one's even better, believe me. You just got to hear it a couple times, and you'll like it. Believe me, I'm not going to take something off to put something worse,
Right. Now, do you have CDs, then, of this music?
No. We're hoping that this will get us another record contract. We last time had a record contract with Tommy Boy and Rap-A-Lot Records, and me and Eric Bischoff were in a huge war where he almost fired me and he pulled the deal off the table. So I'm thinking that if he would have kept that deal on the table, at that time, as popular as the video was, WCW was, and I was, I really do believe that I could have had a record that could have gone gold. But, let's see if we can do it this time.
So now, how does this work? Since you don't have a record contract, do you pay for your own studio time?
No. Basically, I got friends that do me the favor, and they'll produce it and arrange it for free. And the guy that's rapping with me, he raps it for free. He raps on it for free. And then the studio time I bill to the company.
Ah.
Yeah.
And so you have a total of 4 songs then?
Right.
So when did you record this new one?
Last weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's something you can turn out in a weekend?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Because we've got it like that.
Wow.
We've got a lot of songs and a lot of stuff that's ready. I'm like Vampiro, how he's got this big dream to be with ICP and do music. He's got music in his blood. I mean, he always was in bands since he was a little kid, and me too. I used to rap, in my neighborhood at talent contests and stuff like that. So, we're hoping that we can do good in our respective genres.
Wow. Well, I hope this isn't asking too much, but if you got an extra CD hanging around, I would not mind a copy. I know, Bob, you're a big fan of the Konnan music as well.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm thinking maybe we could get them to do a little preview for the people listening to the show.
There you go.
Yeah.
A live webcast. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do that.
There you go.
Maybe we could even do a song with ICP, Vampiro, and K-Dog.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's a wild crowd. They sent me a tape of that Juggalo stuff.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's a wild, hardcore crowd. And you gotta love the fact that every damn city you go to, no matter what, there's either a guy in face paint or some guy with an ICP symbol.
Yeah. Yeah, they're amazing. Amazing. Have you ever been to one of their shows?
No.
It's one of the most unusual things I've ever seen.
Have you gone there?
Yeah.
It's wild, huh?
Yeah, they spray each other with grape soda.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on their video.
I've never seen it. It was the stickiest thing I've ever seen.
And they're pissed. I mean, like, when I was going by in Canada, they had I get along with ICP real good, which I do.
Right.
Violent J and the other. I got their home phone numbers and...
Just so you know, you can't use that word anymore on the show.
Okay.
Be careful. All right, go ahead.
Which one? Their actual names or ICP?
No, you threw a little F-bomb there. We had to
okay.
Be careful on that.
Did I say a bad word?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what the fans said. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but they were cussing me out, and so, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I like these guys. They're pretty cool guys. But I think they think that maybe since I might have had heat with Vamp before, that since he's part of them, like we still hate each other or something. And for all I know, there might be a little Juggalo conspiracy to stab me somewhere. So,
oh boy.
For all the ICP fans, I get along with all 3 of them, with the whole posse.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, good. Because you've got it like that.
I've got it like that, and I'm an honorary Juggalo.
Oh, well, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Konnan, you've been very generous with your time tonight. We appreciate it. You're always fun to have on the show. You're always a very entertaining guest, always full of wit, wisdom, and a little touch of controversy, which is always fun. And we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
Well, I just want to say one more time that thank you for having me on. Or maybe not one more time because I never really said it, but I'd like to say that. And I'd also like to say that I have a lot of respect for you and Bob, whatever term they use, whether it's journalists, broadcasters, whatever. I think that you guys bring a lot of professionalism and a lot of credibility to our sport, and that's always fun. And I just want to say thank you for having me on. I can't wait to work with you guys again.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll see you Monday.
Take it easy, Bob.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye.
All right, this is WCW Live on WCW.com. Konnan, always a fun guest to have on the show.
Yeah, and we could have probably done 3 or 4 hours with him. This was a kind of a thrown together show, no phone calls, but a lot of fun talking to K-Dog.
Absolutely. We will be back again tomorrow night. We will take your calls tomorrow night. We will have Disco Inferno. Bill Banks will be here. A few surprises as well. You don't want to miss it tomorrow night for the Friday night roundtable discussion. We'll talk about some of the things we talked about tonight at length and kind of just give a general discussion of the entire wrestling business and where it stands right now. And
I'm sure people are going to want to call to talk about last night's show, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of calls out there for that. So until tomorrow night, we will talk to you then. Thanks so much for listening to the program tonight. For Bob Ryder, I'm Jeremy Borash. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 2 straight hours of WCW Live and your phone calls tomorrow night on WCW.com.